In the shadowed margins of early biblical history lies one of the most mysterious legends, the Nephilim. Often described as the fallen ones or giants, their story comes from barely 3 verses in Genesis and unfolds further in ancient texts, such as the Book of Enoch. Today we explore their origins, their impact on mankind, and the divine judgment that erased them from history. Our story begins in Genesis 6, 1-4. Here the Bible tells us that when mankind began to multiply on earth, the sons of God noticed that the daughters of men were attractive and, against God's design, they took them as wives. Out of these unions came the Nephilim, described as mighty men of old, men of renown. This brief but enigmatic passage raises immediate questions. Who were these sons of God? What did it mean for them to procreate with human women? And why does their existence coincide with an era of increasing evil on the earth? 2 broad interpretations emerged. One reads the passage as referring to fallen angels, celestial beings who crossed heavenly boundaries, and their hybrid offspring. The other view sees these sons of God as the godly descendants of Seth intermingling with the ungodly line of Cain. However, most ancient Jewish and early Christian traditions, especially those found in texts like the Book of Enoch, support the fallen angels' view. In the apocryphal Book of Enoch, a work highly influential in Second Temple Judaism, the story is expanded considerably. Here, the group of rebellious angels, known as the Watchers, led by Samyaza, defied their heavenly mission by coming to earth. They took human wives, and from these unions were born the Nephilim, giants whose staggering size and might led to untold corruption on the earth. These beings are sometimes equated with later reappearances of giant races mentioned by the Israelite spies in Numbers 13, and even with the terrifying figure of Goliath. Their presence is depicted as part of a larger narrative of cosmic disobedience, where the divine order was defiled. Faced with the rampant iniquity and violence that these hybrids and the sin of mankind in general had sown, God resolved to cleanse the world. In Genesis, the coming of the flood is portrayed as the divine response to a corrupt and fallen creation. For those who hold to the Watchers' tradition, God's judgment was twofold. Not only did he send the flood to purge the earth of human wickedness, but he also decreed a punishment for the fallen angels themselves. According to passages echoed in 2 Peter 2 and Jude, these rebellious beings were bound in everlasting chains, confined under darkness until the final day of judgment. In this way, the Nephilim and their celestial progenitors effectively vanished from history, their legacy preserved only in ancient texts and ongoing myth. Scholars continue to debate the true nature of the Nephilim. While the Watchers' account has captivated imaginations through works such as the Book of Enoch, some modern interpreters favor a reading that sees the passage as symbolic of human moral decay, the intermarriage of the righteous line of Seth with the corrupt descendants of Cain. In this view, the term Nephilim, derived from the Hebrew root meaning to fall, denotes those who have fallen from God's intended order. Despite these differing views, the narrative serves as a timeless cautionary tale about the consequences of defying divine boundaries and the resulting cosmic disorder. Much of what we know about the fallen angels who fathered the Nephilim comes from apocryphal literature. The Book of Enoch, in particular, names several of these rebellious angels, the leaders of the Watchers, whose unions with human women gave rise to these giants. Some of the key names include Samyaza or Shemyaza, the charismatic and fateful leader who convinced his brethren to descend upon the earth. Amaros taught humanity the art of resolving enchantments. Azazel imparted the knowledge of metalwork, knives, swords, shields, and the secrets of beautifying as well as warfare. Gadriel, often associated with the deception of humankind, sometimes even linked to the fall of Eve in later traditions. Barachiel, credited with teaching astrology. Bezaliel, a name appearing in fragmented texts which has been variously rendered. Shazakiel taught the secrets of the heavens and clouds. Kokabiel connected to the knowledge of the stars and constellations. Penemu imparted the art of writing and wisdom, distinguishing the bitter from the sweet. Sariel, associated with lunar cycles and heavenly signs. Shamsiel taught the secrets of the sun. These names and their teachings underscore how their presence forever altered the trajectory of human culture, imparting forbidden knowledge which many believe hastened humanity's moral decline. Ultimately, God's judgment ensured that their chaotic influence was halted, a necessary step in preserving the possibility of redemption for the righteous. Though the Nephilim have long since vanished from the earth, their story endures as a symbol of the dangers inherent in overstepping the boundaries set by the Creator. Whether viewed as the tragic consequences of celestial rebellion or as a metaphor for humanity's fall from grace, the legend of the Nephilim challenges us to reflect on the proper order of creation and the lasting weight of moral choices. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the Bible's most enigmatic chapters. May the lessons of the past guide us in preserving the divine order in our own time.